Howdy, Americans. I'm back with another story time episode, another edition. Let me adjust this just a tad bit. And this one's pretty funny. This had to be early 80s. This is pretty funny. I wasn't laughing then, but I'm laughing now. But if anybody watched the previous video where I did my show and tell, uh, there was a picture in there of a gal I took to my senior prom. Her name was Marcia, and real nice family. She had an older sister that was a knockout. Marcia was a knockout, and then they had a younger son, and then their mother was a single mother, but she was a real nice lady. I'd hang out over there all the time, and uh, just always had a blast. And I felt sorry for him because the son was too young to really do any yard work, so I'd go out there and weed and cut the grass and just do stuff like that as a favor. They always fed me. They're a real nice family, so I got along great with them. But the funny thing is, uh, they lived right behind an old elementary school. I don't know how to describe this. If you came in from it would be from the north side. There was your typical elementary school parking lot, and then it connected to a side street, and then you come back this way. Well, there was like a little circle, like a turnaround circle, and their house was right on that turnaround circle. Where that turnaround circle was, there was a grass plot between the circle and the other entrance way where the parking lot was. And a lot of people used to cut through there. I never did that, but I was young and ornery, and I was out with a friend of mine one night, a guy named Ron, and we indulged in some beverages illegally, and we were out and about, and I said, let's stop, see if Marcia's home, and a lot of times her mom would not be around or whatever, and just because she was working or whatever. So we pull up, we don't see any signs of life there, so my mom owned a little. This is the funniest damn thing. I forgot about this part. My mom was she was going away somewhere, either France or to Florida or whatever, and she left the keys to the car. She had a little Pontiac Sunbird, and they didn't have much clearance, right? So she goes, "I'm leaving the keys to the car. Do not use it. Do not use it. And I'm like, no problem. She's, I'm just leaving it in case of emergency. I'm like, no problem, man. She left. 5 minutes later, I'm out the door with her car, right? So we're running around hell raising, and so we try and show up to see Marcia. She's not there, and it had been raining for days. This was probably one of the stupidest decisions I ever made in my life. But the Ron, I was like, I don't know. He goes, no, go ahead, you'll be fine. So we make it like 10 feet, and then the car sinks. So now I open up the door. We're trying to push it and hit the gas pedal. Now we got mud all over the inside of the car. It's just sinking. And then, so I'm like, oh crap, this is not good. So this is funny. This is back when I was fast and agile and all those good things. And we see coming in the main entrance the logo of the Delaware State Police. It was like whatever you call it, holographic or whatever. And so I take off running. Ron did too. Man, I high hurdled that like 4 foot chain link fence. It was 3 or 4 feet, whatever it was. I hurdled that thing. I didn't even like I was just going with the wind. I don't know how I did that in the mud and everything. I cleared that. I'm surprised that I didn't lose my important parts on the chain link fence, but took off running. And we used to, my mom and we lived in an apartment up the road. I don't know, it was 3/4 of a mile away. It was called Townhill Apartments. So I get there and I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. I just abandoned my mom's car that I'm not supposed to be driving. Ron, I just told him to get the hell out of there, and so I'm freaking out. Uh, so I'm in there gargling with mouthwash and brushing my teeth, and I called Troop One, And I tell him, I said, yeah, hey, I just want to give you guys a heads up. And mind you, I was real close friends with a trooper named Corporal Don, and everybody up there knew me. So I called them and I said, yeah, I just want to let you know. I said, I was trying to make a little cut through behind, it was used to be called Silverside Elementary School. And they said, yeah, boy, we've been looking for you. You better get your ass back down there. And I'm like, yes, sir, no problem. I'm on my way. No problem. I can explain everything. I get there, and there's this trooper. And I think he was a corporal at the time. I forget his name. They called him Bear. He looked like a bear. He was just mean. Troopers didn't even like him. He was just like, he was an ex-Marine, and nobody liked him. This guy, he was just super unpersonable. And I get there, and I identify myself. Turns out he's training a trooper, a young trooper's FTO program, field training officer. And next thing I know it, I'm handcuffed, put in the back of a police car. And at the same time, Marsha's mom pulls into the turnaround, sees me, and I just give like a head nod because I'm handcuffed behind my back, and I can't even wave. You know, I just had to give a head nod like, "Hey, how you doing, Mrs. Young?" So they take me back to the troop, and then the the trooper in training, his name's Kurt Einbrod, and there's some irony to this story as well. I'll get to that hopefully if I remember. But I'm in a little interrogation room. I tell him everything happened. He was kind of nice, but he was like, I don't know how to say this, but he was different. Like his mannerisms, and you could tell he was nervous as, you know, being judged by this one trooper who's like super strict. And I think they conferred a little bit. And he comes back in and he goes, do you know somebody here at Troop 1? I said, yes, sir, Corporal Don. He's kind of like my brother and father all rolled into one. And so I'm thinking like that's going to get me off the hook. Now I get arrested for criminal trespassing and malicious, malicious damage by a motor vehicle, or like basically it was like turfing. And at that time they called it, not called it, but the fine was like if you were like literally deliberately turfing somebody's property, it was like $100 a foot or some crazy thing. And I was just trying to cut through. There was no malice intended. I was just made a poor decision and sunk the vehicle that I was not supposed to be driving. And my mother never found out about it. That it got towed somehow. I don't know how the hell I got that. I think Corporal Don helped me out with that, getting that without my mom's knowledge, and I had to scrub that thing with a toothbrush to get everything clean. And she never found out about that until later. But finally went to court, and the trespassing charge got dropped. But I did serve like a 30-day suspension on my driver's license for that stupid malicious. Oh man, I wish I could remember exactly what they called it. Basically, it was the turfing charge, and malicious intent by a motor vehicle or something, I think is what they called it. So I'm like, what? But anyway, I went on to later, you know, I got that. I did my 30-day suspension and, you know, got my license reinstated and all that. I finally did get hired by the Popo, and I work with a young lady. I can see her face plain as day. And we were real good friends, real good. She was an excellent dispatcher. She had like a real high-pitched voice, but was a great dispatcher because she stayed really calm on the radio. Well, she ends up marrying this Trooper Einbrod, and there's some other stuff I probably can't say on this video, but let's just say I did like her a lot, more than just friends, and he ended up marrying her. And he and I had a conversation prior to it. They were like secretly dating, nobody knew. And he asked me what I thought about her, and I told him, you know, in guy lingo. And yeah, he didn't keep it between us. he told her. So she said, she goes, I didn't know you thought that way about me and all that. And I'm like, what? But anyway, so that's that. Story time episode 122 is now in the books. G Money's been arrested. I got the one charge dropped. The other one was not really a big deal. But I served my time. I'm out in the free world now, just trying to do the right thing. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. So tune in next time when I come to you live from homeless headquarters with some type. It might be a live story. You never know. But if you ever run into that feller down up there in Delaware named Bear, if I was you, I'd go the other direction.